Good morning, everybody. I'm Pastor Rick, and we are on day 21 of our Lenten Devotional that's coming out of the book God on Mute by Pete Greig. And today's title is called Wake Up Call. And I want to read from Psalms 38, verses 9 through 10. Listen to the word of the Lord. All my longings lie open before you, Lord. My sighing is not hidden from you. My heart pounds. My strength fails me. Even the light has gone from my eyes. Many years ago, my firstborn son, whose name happens to be Micah, but it took a while for Lynette and I to figure out his name. So we went through the Bible. We want to have a biblical name. And so we start looking through the Bible and throwing all kinds of names out, like Jeremiah and, Abraham, names like that. And we really like the name Jonah. And I remember I went to my mom and I asked her, I said, what do you think about the name Jonah? And she's like, you shouldn't call him Jonah. I'm like, why, Mom? She said, because he'll be running for the rest of his life. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone that you may know is Jonah, and your name may be Jonah as you're watching this, and you're awesome. Let's just make that clear. You're awesome. But when we think about Jonah, Jonah was a prophet in the Old Testament, and he was a runner, not like a distance runner or running a 5K or even a sprinter. This dude ran from God. God had asked him to do something, and he flat out said no. And he ran in a different direction. But a point in the story where he couldn't run anymore because he got stuck. And he got stuck in a belly of a fish. And he was there for 3 days and 3 nights. So he was at a point of what we call despair. And whenever we get into a point where there's despair or there's anguish, or we feel like we're stuck, it's amazing what happens sometimes. So like when we live in life fancy free, we may not pray a whole lot because everything is great. But sometimes when we're dealing with being stuck or dealing with despair or dealing with grief or whatever, we find ourselves on our knees. And this would happen with Jonah. Jonah began to cry out to God. And this is what he says. He says, in my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. Jonah was stuck. Jonah was stuck in the belly of a fish, and he cried out to God, and God did answer him. And as you read the story, which is a great story, he ends up getting out of the fish. It was kind of nasty and gross, but the fish actually vomits him out, which is disgusting. But he gets out. And he ends up doing what God had asked him to do for the first time. And it actually happened that a whole town got saved, the city of Nineveh. So it's an amazing story. So I do want to just encourage you that don't be like Jonah and run from God. I'm just going to make that clear. Don't be like Jonah. If God asks you to do something, go ahead and do it. But on the other end, if you find in a time where you are dealing with anguish and despair, or you feel like you're stuck, call on God and just trust that God will get you through. Let us have a word of prayer. And this comes from Charles the Foucault. He says this: Father, I abandon myself into your hands. Do with me what you will. Whatever you do, I thank you. I am ready for all. I accept all. Let only your will be done in me and in all your creatures. I wish no more than this, O Lord. Amen.